Well, there are many real people in the world today who are out there to give us hope, happiness, and inspiration. Well, President Barack Obama talks about hope. He says that for those who say that we can't, we will respond to the timeless creed that some serve the spirit of the people. Yes, we can. In David Beckham, we can find inspiration. He inspires people to become footballers in the future.
I say, check that football is that. Well, all you got to do is lots of practice and practice. And that's what I'll teach to my son, Brooklyn and Romeo, and might have tattooed the other one somewhere. The thing is, these are real people. But what I believe is, when you detach yourself from reality, you can find hope, happiness, and inspiration to a whole new level. I believe that being detached from reality is great. Ever since I was young, I was always engaged in movies, novels, cartoons. I love being away from reality. And adults tell me, my mom tells me that don't believe what you see in the movies. No, they're not real. But I think that what I see in the movies, it gives me so much happiness, and I can learn so much from movies. And away from reality, I can learn, I can get inspired and be happy. One of the power of movies is that it gives hope to people. Take this film, for example, Casablanca. It was released in 1941 during World War II. It was a time where America was struck with the chaos of war, and there was so much tragedy in the country. This story about two lovers and how their love triumphed above all tragedies gave so many Americans hope that amidst the darkest of times, there is light. There's always something to look forward to. But for all they knew at that time, the war could have gone on forever. But Casablanca encapsulated the minds of so many Americans until today became one of the most well-received American films of all time. Movies can give hope to people. Well, let's take a look at this picture. This is a picture of a slum in Monrovia, in Liberia, where George Weah was born in. The beauty of being detached from reality is it allows us to dream beyond the environment that we are living in, and hence we can be successful in that way. George Weah was born in a slum in Monrovia, and his environment was really harsh. Food was very scarce, there was no proper sanitation, no access to clean water, but he detached himself from the reality that he was living in and dreamt of becoming a great footballer. He immersed himself in the passion of football, and when he was transported by French coach Arsene Wenger, his career just took off like a bullet train. He eventually became the World Player of the Year in 1995. The environment that he was living in did not limit himself to achieve success. His escapism from reality allowed him to dream beyond what is limiting him. Another reason why escaping from reality is good is that we are nourished with happiness. Let's take fantasy, for example. Children are brought up with stories that are not real. We tell children, once upon a time there was 3 little pigs. We don't tell them, once upon a time Hitler killed 3 million Jews. I don't know, something like that. But in these stories, we can learn so many values. In Lion King, for example, we learn that friendship can go beyond all hierarchies. We learn the power of unity. In Alice in Wonderland, when a child reads the story about Alice in Wonderland, he or she believes that there is a world out there where it's comfortable and all is happy, where plants can sing, animals can talk, a world that is wonderful. That's why it's called Wonderland, in case you're wondering. And Walt Disney once said that movies can and do have tremendous influence in shaping young lives in the realm of entertainment towards the ideals of and objectives of normal adulthood. Movies have the power to groom you as a person. And that's why being detached from reality into the fantasy world, into the world of fiction, it can actually determine who we are and what we become. Another form of detachment from reality is through advertising. Let's take Coca-Cola, for example. The reality of this drink is that... Oh, it's half... I was a bit thirsty. The reality of this drink is that it's just water and sugar and a lot of other stuff. Yeah, but the purpose of this is just to quench our thirst and taste good. But Coca-Cola has become such a world brand. It's more than just a drink. It unites people, it gives people hope. And the experience of drinking is not just about quenching thirst. It's more than just that. Let's take a look at this old school Coca-Cola advertisement. Drinking from this bottle will never be the same again. The faces tells me happiness. The cradling of the bottle tells me there's so much care for the bottle, and I already have one in my hand. The bottles of Coke are so priceless, and everyone wants to have a drink. It also tells me that whatever I'm doing is going to be fine. Everything is going to be fine. It gives me comfort, and hence, drinking from this bottle will never be the same again. This one for the cameras. It's not just about water and sugar, it's about happiness. I'm not here to say that we should just go away from reality and neglect our daily lives, our responsibilities, no. But I believe that being detached from reality can give us a whole new vision of what life is all about. It can give us happiness. It can let us forgo our worries and go into a world where everything comforts us. And if we detach ourselves from reality, then can all our stories, like in Alice in Wonderland, end in a happily ever after. Thank you.